Atinye kamangunet ale imite komye eng olda tugul ole imitei ako atochin eng logoiwekab emet kong'ete Kass TV ne somanun kwane Bernard Tanoe. Kakobor kaimetabgei President William Ruto kotinygei ak baretab kwony nekikure Rachel Wandeto nekokibar kotinygei ak telelenyi nebo bolotet kong'ololi eng komasta nebo Mama Ngina Drive eng Mombasa County eng igorta nebo roptaetab title deeds koityi squatters. Komwa Ruto kole tinyegei baretab Wandeto ak bolotet neya netesetai eng emet ole karirtae alak eng kandoik chetesetai koamdoi logoiwek chotok chebo sosisiet ak bororiondit eng emet ole kamwa kole agoi kobit imanda akobo baretab kwonyotok kikure Rachel Wandeto.
And I want to say without fear of any contradiction while I am here at the coast, for those of you who are visionless, the people who are agendaless, the people who have no vision for our nation, the people who have no plan for our nation, the people who have no agenda for our nation, you will not divide our nation using ethnicity. You will not divide our nation using hate. Hiyo mnafanya, the hate you are spewing. I want to tell you, one day, you will answer for the tribalism you are perpetuating in Kenya, for the hate you are perpetuating in Kenya. The life of Rachel Wandeto will not go unanswered. You who call others traitors, you mwenye mnawaita Wakenya wengine wasaliti, mpaka mama Rachel Wandeto ameuawa kwa sababu ya chuki yenu, kwa sababu ya ukabila yenu, kwa sababu ya profiling ambayo mmefanya Wakenya wengine eti ni wasaliti. Siku moja mutajibu, na Kenya hii hatuwezi kukubali, hatuwezi kuwaruhusu mutuuzie ukabila, mutuuzie chuki, mutuuzie blackmail. We are telling you, we will not allow you to blackmail anybody in Kenya. You will not blackmail our nation using ethnicity. You will not blackmail our nation using hate. You will not profile citizens as traitors because they don't believe in your tribal bigotry. We are going to stand together as a nation. And one day, you will answer for what you are doing. Our nation will not go backwards. Our nation will move forward with unity because we are one nation, one people with a common destiny, and Kenya is going to move forward.
Bitu nitok eng kasarta nekae kambaget kwonyik eng taonitab Kapsabet konerekyin yautik chebo baretab kwonyik choto tesetai kobendi barak eng emet ole eng konekit koibet sobet kwony nekekure Rachel Wandeto yekongibokchi ak ketumchi acid eng bortonyi ole koibet sobet konyoru kanyoiset eng sipitalitab boror noto nebo Kenyatta. Kondochin nebo ng'echeret eng kibagengeitab Nandi County Women Brigade Tabut komwa kwonyichoto kole nyolu eng serikali kokanapta boriet nekitokyin yautik chebo gender based violence GBV si makitestai kibet sobonwekab kwonyik eng emoni. Kongenyoru report notok eng koindo kobun sirindenyo eng kebeberta nebo Nandi Nelson Tarbei.
Kayai kambaget kwonyichoto eng taonitab Kapsabet kondochin Tabut konerekyin ichek yautyonoto bo rumishetab kwonyoto kikure Rachel Mutoni.
Ko kakibwa yu ko kikina mama asikeesho ng'olyot nekokibar lakwet nekikure Rachel Wandeto Muthoni. Kokikas kong'wan kabisa ko ki sigik ko kikina mama amu mami lelut nekiyai lakwanatak. Kiibor lakwanatak haki nenyinet kole mitei koteteanchin Arap Ruto akobirchin kurait Arap Ruto kokomo kotinye any right in muren age tugul kobar lakwanatak. Kito nekimeche kemwa kityo kemeche kemwa kele kimeche kikochi haki lakwanatak within 7 days eng wikino nyone kokakobata betusiek 7 kebendi barabara kabisa asikewach akemwa kele amune sitom kenam bichotok.
Kamwa ichek kole yautik cheuchu kokonu tabotet ole kokon aragenet neo kot mising rumishonoto.
Hofu nenyunet nguno ko katowo tabot. Amu nguno kotokakoit kebarin kokele asapoteni president. Kelach ngorietab UDA. Kerib in oret sikeketin. Kwesome kabisa kwa unyenyekevu amu chepyosok chuchuk chepsirok kobendi kemboi alake sait somok kobendi alake sait ang'wan. Ikisome security nemi barak amu ikere ile kakoit ketobotye. Makekonye kotakealdoishe. Ialdoishe ak itinye wasiwasi ititoi ano kot iwendi. Amu ngoto kaking'wererin kele nindo nin kobo UDA no kobo nikile tinye chitugul right kosapoten chito. Tinye right chitugul kosapoten chi nekamach. Ako yu kemeng'tindosi kabilosiek tugul ako makimache boriot.
Kanerek kichek nito eng mwaet kole nyolu eng kibagengeshek tugul cheborjingei imandab kipkosabei ochutyi nito asikobit kero kele kabit imanda eng chokchinet.
Kokikas kouo lakwenyo amu notok ko ng'wanindab moet nebo mama age tugul nekisikis. Ko ngiro koike notok ko ng'wanit kot mising. Nekiimigei ak kekose kele kot kotestai kito neu notok akamesi kebaratet ku ngokaik kakisom eng kaming'inetabgei. Security nebo Kenya otelel komie ak kokerech otekte chepyosok. Ngeribech kabisa amu makiyoni kebarech kou ngokaik. Kakisom kabisa kaming'inetabgei. Kimeche keker kele kakitoret president nenyonet Arap Ruto kotam nenyine nebo aeng kotar tun 2032 konyo chito age.
Eng let kosom ichek serikali konam eng chokchinet ak keipchi kakwautiik chekimen chebo ng'atutik biik tugul chekotinygei ak rumisionoto.
Somen yache kele kimache kinde ko biik chekoyoe biik cheking'eti amu mami kiy neyookse eng kimenindo mami kiy nemakingen ngot ko kikotoi amu mi king'alal ine nekirubeiwotab president Rigathi Gachagua kole mache keisto wasaliti chekikwaldech kimache komwawech kole tos bichu kealda ko ng'o tos lakwani netai amu lakwani ko lakwa nemining lakwani ko kotienin nekotou kosete sobenyi ku lagok alak tugul chebo korik alak kotieme akine konai kole atoreten lagokchuk so komi ole mi ko kotieme akine kokilgei konai kole kawalak sobet achek tugul kokiligei chi tugul kolen amache awal gaa ak awal sobet kotieme lakwana sobenyi komakotinye chi sababu nebo koistoe lakwana sobet ako mami chi netinye ruhusa nesire ng'atutiet nemi emoni neimuch koistoe chito sobet eng eunekchik. Kieshei ko ki biikab Nandi ko ki chepyosokab Nandi kelach ako kokikoite kele kimeche kekonu betusiek 7 ingot ko betusiek 7 kotomo kemwa kele ng'o nekobele lakwani kebwone kora kwachek tugul kebwone barabara kot komong imanit kot kenai kele kibele ng'o lakwani ako ki sababu nenyi sikobel kone.
Kong'etegei kaunti nebo Nandi logoiwekab emet chebo Kass kainenyu ko Nelson Tarbei.
Yekiistoegei logoiwechotok ko kekere logoiwek kotinygei ak walutik chetesetai eng sekta noton nebo chaik ole kakomwa cabinet secretary nebo kabatisiet Mutahi Kagwe kole aisurut nenaat kou tea levy kotokchinigei kokanapta sekta nebo kabatisiet eng emet ak kotoret kabatik konyor kelchinoik chemite barak kosubkei ak Kagwe nekang'ololi amait betut noton nebo International Tea Day komwa ine kole tesetai serikali kokanaptoi sekta noton nebo chaik asikonyor kelchin kabatik kou eng report nekinyoru kobun sirindenyo eng taonitab Kericho Robert Siele.
Kong'ololen igortab betutab International Tea Day nebo emoni nekaituiyo stakeholders ak temik kobun kebeberwek cheterter en emoni nekakiyai en factory nebo Mamul KTDA factory en county nebo Kericho. Komwa cabinet secretary nebo kabatisiet en emoni Mutahi Kagwe kole aisurut anan tea levy chetokyin serikali chaik en emet kotokyingei koib walet ak kokimit sekta nebo chaik en emoni.
The tea levy is intended to provide for sustainable funding model for tea industry programs, including, and please listen, including the promotion and marketing of our tea, the branding and value addition of our tea, the promotion of research for our tea, the quality assurance and the effective regulation in order to enhance the competitiveness of Kenya's tea industry.
Kosubkei ak Kagwe komanyalile en oret age tugul serikalitab emoni stakeholders ak temikab chaik en tetutikab kakimitetab kabatisiet ak mung'aretab chaik.
The government assures all stakeholders that this initiative is not intended to impose unnecessary burdens on tea farmers or businesses, but rather is intended to ensure that some of the proceeds from tea exports are plowed back into the development, protection, and competitiveness of the tea sector.
Kamach Cabinet Secretary factorishekab chaik chebo KTD en emoni koistoengei tetutik alak tugul cheboto besenetab rabisiek kenyalile temik. Kit nekamwa sirindet neo en Ministry nebo kabatisiet en emoni Dr. Paul Rono kole makat kikimit temindet en oret age tugul.
And factory directors should not waste millions of tea farmer funds in unnecessary litigation on matters which they already litigated and consented to in April 2024.
When we talk about diversification, CS, coffee and avocado is a big time in Kericho and the whole of Kenya. And I know you'll have something to say because as we talk, Kericho County is now leading in coffee in the whole of Kenya.
Kamwa seneta nebo Kericho Aaron Cheruyot kole kotestai kobit walet en sekta nebo chaik ole kailo serikalitab emoni kondochin President Dr. William Ruto en walutik choton.
But today we've come here to celebrate and appreciate that there is a place where we used to be, there is where we are, and we know where we are going. That is what we have come to do here today. As a representative of tea farmers, because I know what fertilizer means to tea farmers, I must appreciate the Kenya Kwanza administration for the fertilizer subsidy program. That one, hata nani aseme ama nini, it is life changing. There are many farmers na wakulima mko hapa. Na tukitaka kusema ukweli ni kwamba kabla serikali hii kukuja, we used to struggle with fertilizer.
Karutechi kandoichoton kondochin Cabinet Secretary nebo kabatisiet Mutai Kagwe project nebo setet hydropower nemiten en Chemosit en Bureti county noton nebo kamangunetab kimnotetab stimet keboisien beek nemiten kamangunetab kowangei amoi keske kenyini asikotoret kochor boisietab stimet en factorishekab KTD en county nebo Kericho ak Bomet en kelchin nebo temindet. Aripotin logoiwekab emet chebo Kass kong'eten county nebo Kericho, kainenyun ko Robert Siele.
Kong'ete county inoto bo Kericho kebendoi county nebo Bomet ole kakesom kabatik chebo tuga chebo chego konetkei ortinwek chebo kasari chebo baetab kiyagichotok asikomong chego chesere akonyor melekwokik chemite barak. Kosubkei ak labatindet Paul Kipsile Koech nebo tuga chebo chego ko kikowalak ole keboitoi tuga chebo chego ole nyolu eng kabatik konetkei ortinwek chebo kasari asikokanapta kabatisienywa kong'ololi ine eng meng'otenyi nemite kokwetab Kapchepkoro eng Sotik eng tuiyetab kanetisiet anan field day nebo biik cheboe tuga chebo chego ole konamgei eun ine ak Equity Foundation kokoito kanetisionoto kou eng report nekinyoru kobun sirindenyo eng kebeberta nebo Bomet Festus Rono.
En field day nekakiyai en Kapchepkoro en sub county nebo Sotik nekaindochin labatindet Paul Kipsele Koech nebo kinet kabatik anan boikab tuga chebo chego ko kamwa Kipsele kole miten kelchinoik en baetab tugab chego kobate nyolu konai boikab tuga akobo ole kiripto tuchaton mising keboisien teknolojia nebo kasari.
Kakitinye igorta nebo temik nekokimuch kepatranan ak Equity Bank noto ko sponsor nekotoreti temik kora kobwa reyu. Mi kora kampunit nebo Sistema ko kampunit nebo in biogas nemuch koboisien kora temik simokobendi kowechowechi osnosiek choto chekitestai kemine ketik.
Kamwa Kipsele kole kaimutiet neo kot mising en baetab tugab chego ko amitwogik nekamwa ine kole kikotoi kochob amitwogikab tuga ole kaibor akine kaimetabgei Samuel Kirui ne ine ko kabatindetab tugab chego en oliet nemi barak nebo amitwogikab tuga.
Kursenyun ko en ra ko kakinet amu katesetai kanetusiet kele inomen foundation noto ko teta ko mat koba kwal nekale nemaimuch kosinye rabinik lakini kinyo kibrindenchi noto nekatinye nekiten ak beit ne noto keboisien AI kotko ngoite generation nebo 4 ko kakonyor chego choto chechang ak kinet kora akobo amitwogik dairy meal chemuch kochopchigei kora mkulima en gaa asikonyorchigei chego. Ko temindet noto nemi ngweny ko kit nekekoi teta ko noto nekei ko kit nenyolu temindet nemi ngweny ko konai kole kokochi ne tenyato. Netai korok ko komi marurek choto nepia, kotinye kora kotinye bandek, ko bandek ko kechobe silage. Ko yekakochop silage konyokokoi kora tenyato kotes chego. Lakini nesire ko konyor kora kampunit noto nekochin dairy meal asikotes chego en imbarenyin.
Shida nekitinye kabisa kabotik anan boikab tuga ko amitwogik, kakokal amitwogik. Dairy meal chon kilelen kikochin teta sisich chego ko kali kabisa nindonge serikali kotoretech kobwa ngweny sikesich faida. Kibendi almost zero amun kali amitwogik choton, amun dairy meal komarekunen 3,500 800. Ko shida nekitinye ko noniton kabisa nebo dairy meal. Ko makisiche faida neo unless the government reduce the prices of dairy meal.
Kounoton kokacher Kipsele chi nemoche kochutyi baetab tugab chego kocheng keswek cheititootin asikomuch konyorunen kelchin.
Konetisiet komoche en kila komi tuguk chewolokse chenyolu konai kora mkulima noton nebo ngweny, konai kole technology kotesetai. Mi kora county kokur kora specialist choto chebo AI. Kingen kora AI service konyolu keboisien, makeboisien kirugik choto chu kibo keny, amun kimoe keboisien keswek choto chebo kasari chekikeimporten kong'eten olimbo bitonin, Holland keboisien kora keswek choto chekororon asikomuch kolel tuga choto netinye temindet noton nekomi ngweny chekyik, ko kakoboisien breed noto kotese chego.
Kong'eten county nebo Bomet, logoiwekab emet chebo Kass, kainenyun ko Festus Rono.
Ketesetai ko kakesom kipsomaninik choto chebo secondary eng emet koboisie oret nebo ng'alalet eng chengsetab imanda anan kokoito magutikwai eng kandoinatetab sukulishek ama koib kambaget nekonu asenet. Nitok ko kosubkei ak MP nebo Keiyo North Adams Kipsanai nekamwa kole eng negit ko kila tamitab aeng kobitu kambagoshek eng sukulishek chebo secondary ole nyolu eng kipsomaninik chotok kometo tebet neyoe kambaget ako ng'em malekab sukul kobate komwaita magutikwai eng oret noton nebo ng'alalet. Kongenyoru report nebo Andrew Kimeto kong'ete kebeberta nebo Iten eng Elgeyo Marakwet.
Eng kenyisiek chechang kosirto ko kikiborionji kambakoshek eng sukulishek chechang chebo secondary chebo emoni kobitu eng tamitab aeng nebo kalenda nebo somanet, kosubkei ak membayat nebo Keiyo North Adams Kipsanai nekarutochi sukulitab Tambach Comprehensive School nemite county nebo Elgeyo Marakwet nikiyai kipsomaninik kambaget eng taunetab keny nebo wikini, komwa kole magat eng kipsomaninik koboisie oretab ng'alalet atkai tugul bune icheket kaimutik eng sukul ako makoboisie oretab kambakoshek kou yekiborionji eng sukul noto.
To humbly request our students to use other means of communicating other than causing strikes, destroying properties, because at the end of the day their parents are the ones who will end up meeting the cost. Secondly is also the time lost. They will have lost the time that they should be using it to revise. So I want to request all our students in our constituency, our county and Kenya at large not to use this backward way of communicating when there is a problem. Thirdly is also to encourage parents to please take time with your child, talk to them, encourage them, because there are some elements of hopelessness among our students. Some of them also have they fear examinations, and that is why we are likely to witness such cases if mitigations are not put in place.
Nguni kotesetai chikilisiet asikenai kit nekitita koyai kambaganoto kipsomaninik choto bo sukulinoto bo Tambach.
Students must come back on time so that they can resume their learning because time is of essence. I want to report that the discussion here is not about victimization or pointing fingers, but we were trying to just have a consensus on how we can take our institution forward. As you know, Tambachi is an institution, one of our institutions in this constituency and Kenya at large, that the community and the citizens have a lot of sentimental attachment, and that is why we are also here to protect our institution. The performance of the school is improving from the way it used some time back, and we are very optimistic that even with the small challenges, they will still perform and triumph.
Kayamis konetindet neo nebo sukulit noto Michael Cheruyot sigik kole tetat kikur kowektagei sukul kipsomaninik choto eng konekit yeiwonge chikilisiet.
But we want to assure the parents that we will, from our discussion, we will have the boys coming as soon as possible from this week, next week.
As Kupet fraternity, we are here to stand with the teaching fraternity of Tambach on behalf of the teachers of Elgeyo Marakwet. And I want to assure and reaffirm and thank the MP that there will be no victimization on the issues that transpired before and during the strike. We'll sit down as members, as stakeholders of this school and make sure that we come up back to school as soon as possible and reclaim the image of Tambach that it was before.
Kongete county nebo Elgeyo Marakwet, logoiwekab emet chebo Kass, kainenyu ko Andrew Kimeto.
Ngeba akoi county nebo Uasin Gishu ole kakotuyogei kampunitab Metropole CRB ak kibengeisiek cheikoitoi besenwogik chenootin kou Savings and Credit Cooperative Societies anan SACCOs eng tetutik chebo kokoitoetab besenwogik kobun chekeletab biik eng CRB kotomo kikochi icheket melekwogik. Kosub ak notok kotetat kikochi besendo eng SACCO konamgei ak ole uu kainenyi eng CRB ole wendi notok kokonoptoi koitetab biik chenyoru besenwogik eng SACCOs chekonoptoen mung'arosiekwai ak boisionik alak chebo bandab tai. Koiarorwech logoiwechoto sirindenyo eng taunitab Eldoret Isaac Kogei.
Eng tuyet nekai eng taunitab Eldoret komwa kibagenge notok bo Metropole kondochin CEO Gideon Kipyakwai kole agoi nguni kotinye logoiwek chebo biikab emoni cheite milionisiek 26 chemitei kosome rabinik cheisuldae boisionik cheterter eng kutit nenaat kou Active Credit Profile nemwoe kole nganda maisuldae chongindonywa kawektaetab besenwogik komakertoi kobun oret notok nebo CRB anan blacklisting.
26 million Kenyans have a credit profile in the CRB. We no longer talk about blacklisting. Right now we are in the age of credit scores and credit ratings. So the 26 million Kenyans are able to leverage their credit profile, their credit score to access credit. Kenya is now top 5 in the world in terms of financial inclusion, courtesy of existence of CRB and of course the technologies around, say, mobile money, APIs for lending and so forth. So in terms of numbers, over the last couple of years, after COVID, we've brought in another 7 million new borrowers. 7 million new borrowers have come. About 3.7 million have come in the last 1 year through the digital credit providers. So as I said, the new regulations have really supported the financial inclusion agenda and supported access to credit. And one of that is the digital credit provider regulations.
Mwoe kibagenge notok kole chongindoi biikab emet koboisie oretab besendo kobaraite mung'arosiekwak ak konorwet.
So 227 DCPs have been regulated. A lot of them are now coming to the CRB. So ukichukua pesa kutoka kwa mobile app, digital loan providers, that data comes to us and it helps you to even access more loans. Now in today's discussion we are looking at leveraging bank statement, M-Pesa transactions, so cash flows to help you access even more loans, because with loans you can grow. You cannot save yourself out of poverty. You have to access some form of credit to boost you to go into a business, and that's what we are doing as a CRB.
Kama icheket kole mitei emoni eng kwenutab emotinwek mut chetai eng boisietab chepkondok chotok chebo besendo eng kasuldaetab boisionik chotok chebo borotet.
Share data with the CRB. So CRBs receive data only from accredited institutions who meet certain data quality standards. So mtu hawezi tuma record yako asema ulikopa na haukukopa. ni lazima kweli ulikopa, na kama umelipa kwa record inaonyesha umelipa. Kama hujalipa, hiyo record ikisema kama hujalipa ni ukweli hujalipa. But if by any chance you find that your record shows you have not paid and yet you paid, there is a mechanism by law which is established which allows us to even remove that record.
Victor Kiplagat, CEO noto nebo Spin Mobile Limited ak Chepchumba Mutai, Fund Manager noto nebo MSMEs Fund kobun county nebo Uasin Gishu, kolosu kibagenge noto bo Metropol akobo kakwautiet noto neibe koro kole kainet biikab emet kokuyo ortinwek chotok cheboisie mising kobun muswoknotet noto nebo kasari kosuldae lipanetab besendo ak koistoegei chutchinetab CRB.
Our role here is as partners, because we know there is a need. The world of finance is evolving. The world of credit scoring is also evolving. And there's now new technologies like AI, alternative data, embedded finance, and such things. And our role here was mainly to be able to meet the lenders, the SACCOs, the financial institutions, and to explain to them about how they can be able to leverage these technologies in order to improve their credit appraisal processes.
And today I want to applaud Metropol for having this training and also capacity building around the region, just to help us understand the emerging trends and also find a way of partnering and also integrating our systems. We have quite a very big number of a very big business community. Actually, Eldoret is marked for the fastest growing business town in this country, and especially a very interesting group called the agribusiness community that is very growing at a very fast rate. So today we are learning, and we hope to integrate all these things that we learn today into our society and also within the region.
Kong'ete taonitab Eldoret eng county nebo Uasin Gishu, logoiwekab emet chebo Kass, kainenyu ko Isaac Kogei.
Yekiker logoiwek choto chebo mung'aret ko konyor kampunitab Kenya Power melekwek cheite million 382 eng arawek 34 kobun charging anan chachanetab karishek cheboisien sitimet chemitei eng sekta noto nebo e-mobility. Kolany melekwokik chotok eng kebeberta 113 eng bokol eng kenyisiek somok, ole melekwokik chenyoru Kenya Power eng arawet age tugul kubun charging nebo karishek chotok ko kolany kong'ete 873 eng arawetab tisab kenyitab 2023 agoi 35 eng arawetab oeng kenyini. Tesetai konyoru chamet karishek, pikipikishek koboto tuktuk choto boisien sitimet eng emoni, ole kokoit karishek choto 35 eng kenyini kong'ete 1,200 eng kenyitab 2022, ole tesetai Kenya Power koyote komoswek chekichochonen karishek choto eng komoswek chechang chebo emoni asikwo barak sekta nebo e-mobility eng emoni.
We are here as KPLC to tell you transition and just tell us where you require the infrastructure. We are willing to put our resources to ensure that we support each and every Kenyan who wants to transition to EV, be it at the level of the trucks, be it at the level of the buses, be it at the level of motorbikes, or at any level. We are there for you. We are there not to compete with you, but we are there to support you. So for the places where the private sector can do the investment, we will allow them to do it. But for places where they require that investment and they are unable to, KPLC would actually be at the forefront in terms of supporting you and ensuring that that infrastructure is there. So ladies and gentlemen, I really want to appreciate each and every one of you. And like I said, I want to appreciate, I think the success that has been achieved from the 1,200 that has been mentioned up to over 35,000 is because of each and every one of you. It's to those motorbike owners who are willing to try e-bikes, to those vehicle owners who are willing to transition and buy that vehicle that uses EV, to the bus owners, and to all who have invested in this particular space.
We have been working with the government to create an e-mobility policy that is providing incentives and that is providing a reliable framework for investments into electric mobility. In the end, it actually comes down to people to operate the e-mobility technologies, to drive the buses, to maintain them. We have also worked on creating or developing a curriculum that is being introduced in TVET institutions and universities, so to also have that capacity to do that maintenance. And the growth that we have heard, more than 35,000 EVs on the road, that's really the success, I think, of our collaboration across sectors, across ministries, across private sector and academia. So it's been a pleasure to be part of that journey, and looking forward to be part of now the literal journey to Kisumu and to Mombasa.
This is a proud moment to actually see and look at the journey where we started. 3 years ago, when we were having discussions with KPLC, they said they think this is a pilot. They didn't feel that this is where we're going to be in 3 years. At the time, we had 1,200 vehicles on the road in 2023. Now we have more than 35 registered vehicles on the road in 2020, end of 2025, 35,000, right? So now we are able to run 3 parallel parades. We are running one from Nairobi to Kisumu, Nairobi to Mombasa, and on Sunday we'll have a big one in Nairobi showcasing all the different types of vehicles, 2-wheelers, 3-wheelers, 4-wheelers, buses, vans, to show you that actually this is reality. This is happening. And the unfortunate part is 60 to 70% of these vehicles are within Nairobi. And this parade between the 2 different corridors is to show that actually KPLC has enough power. They have supported in building infrastructure, and we will be utilizing that infrastructure within these parades that will be happening this week, and showcase that actually if a 400 kilowatt truck can actually move from Nairobi to Mombasa and back to Nairobi, that KPLC is ready to provide the energy. E-mobility companies are willing to build and have built infrastructure to support the parade.
Future is electric, and electric will look like that. We will start to see a lot more vehicles bring in goods and services with massive vehicles. And the idea is, what does it take to do the transition ourselves? If we don't do the studies ourselves, if we don't tell our own stories, then other people start telling the stories for us. So we're really excited to be moving along the road with KPLC.
Eng let ko kakosirto shareholders chebo benkitab KCB lipanetab dividends cheite billion 22.5 chebo kenyitab mung'aret nebo 2025 kaisirto lipanetab rabinichoto bo dividend board notok eng tuyetab kila kenyit noto nebo annual general meeting AGM ole kilipani siling 7 eng share age tugul ne noto ko teset eng kebebertab 133 eng 100 kamwa nebo ng'echeret eng board nebo KCB Dr. Joseph Kinyua kole iboru lipanetab dividends chotok kole tesetai kokimitu mung'aretab benkit noto ole kolany melekwokikab benkit notok eng kebeberta 11 eng 100 eng agoi billion 68.4 akolany mokornotetab benkit noto agoi trillion 2.1.
Throughout the year, the board and management remained focused on enhancing the shareholders' value, strengthening the balance sheet, supporting our customers, and positioning the group for long-term sustainable growth. The results were encouraging. The group delivered strong growth, with the net profits growing by 11% to an all-time high of Kenya shillings 68.4 billion. This enabled a 22.5% return on equity and praised us among the top performing companies on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. The group's total assets grew by 9% to hit 2.1 trillion, despite the sale of the National Bank of Kenya. Based on our performance for the year and our commitment to providing our shareholders with long-term sustainable value of their investment, the board has proposed the payment of a total dividend of 7 shillings per ordinary share, which in total amounts to 22.5 billion shillings. This comprises an interim and special dividend of 4 shillings per ordinary share and a final and special dividend of 3 shillings per ordinary share.
For a while, shareholders, your group has had 30 to 31 million customers. But today, having closed 2025, we're talking about 34 million customers, 11 million conventional bank and 23 million digital customers, reflecting that we are starting to get the gains of the technological investments and the transformation strategy of 2024-2026. We sold 100% of issued shares in NBK to Access Bank in 2025, but the performance for the business still reflects significant growth. That is due to the diversified business model. I also want to say, to fast-track our digital capability and renewal of the old bank, if I was to use that term, the acquisition of 75% stake in Riverbank is going to provide that momentum. We did receive that approval on 19th December 2025, and still await the approval from the regulator on the acquisition of minority stake in Pesapal. I have no doubt that we will get that approval this year.
Ko ako yotok ko kakeit let eng logoiwekab emet chekaitun eng inguni kong'ete Kass TV. Kainenyu ko Bernard Tanui. Amagun kit age tugul nemie testai iker Kass TV amu kimnotet naet.